Hey everyone, welcome back to Redbanditracing. Welcome back to the channel. We got the rematch. We got the Kraton 6S EXB versus the Traxxas Sledge. We want to do this rematch because we gave the Kraton some time to work all the little bugs out. It's been handling great. It's been breaking less parts and it's been doing a great job bashing. Let's get into the specs real quick on what these two cars have gone through, and then let's do some things out on the track. Okay, so the Sledge, we did put the Bashing Gens Ace batteries in it. These things have really made a difference. These are 120C rating. We got the IC5 connectors. The only thing that we changed on the Sledge as far as the electronics go is the servo. It does have the 2280 and the ESC. This is the Max 8. This is the stock motor. Now this is the stock gearing and everything else is stock except for the front and rear diffs. Those are spiral cut gears. As far as everything else, it is stock. The only thing else I did to this was I put green anodized shock tubes, the chassis brace, a gray chassis, some of the inserts in the front for all the control arms. Now I did bend a rear shock tower, so I did use the M2C. That's going to help with the durability, but that's it. These are belted tires. I took my other tires off, put the belted one. I don't like the belted, but we're going to give them another shot out here on the track and see how they do. The settings on the ESC, I believe the punch is level 7. So we're going to leave it a punch level 7. As far as the body goes, very easy to put on, really quick, and you're set to go. That's one of the best things about the Sledge.
All right, so let's go over anything changing performance. The only thing that can actually affect the performance is we have 100C Spectrum batteries over the 50Cs. And for durability purposes, we just put on the newest ARRMA toe links. These are on the newest version of the Kraton, so we're going to see if these are stronger than the original EXB V2s. We also have the M2C drive cups and the RPM arms front and rear. That is everything changed on the Kraton. Everything else is stock. So we'll see how it goes. The body, we did tape this a little late, so it's already cracked, but obviously it's not clipless, so it's going to take a little bit longer, but this is not the worst clipless clipped system I've seen. It's not terrible to get to the ones in the back, unlike a car like the Stampede. It's relatively pretty quick, and I've never had even a clip fall off this. But yeah, it is cracking where it gets these bolts in the shocks.
Wing's been doing better. Not this one. I landed on this a couple times. Actually, the second time I landed on it, it bent it back. So now it's back to where it was.
You see, I think Traxxas got it right on the E-Revo 2.0, where the wing is just so flexible, you can't break it.
Very flexible.
All right, so we are here with the track. We're going to do about 2 or 3 laps each solo on each car just to see their handling, and then we're going to race them together because this checks their speed and their stability. And one thing I do want to point out, we've been getting some comments about complaining. This is not a good track. We've offered to maintain this track, and we just can't. We just got a comment this morning saying how we've been complaining about it and how we should just be fixing this track, but that's not our responsibility.
I'm sorry, but the last person who came out here, look at all these rocks. I mean, look at all these rocks that are coming out of the track. They didn't make this for RCs. They made this for probably bikes or BMXs, but this is not a good track to taking your RC car out. This is this also checks durability. You want to hit a rock that's popping out of the dirt, that's going to check it.
Yeah, so after those laps, we are going to bring our ramp out, do some jumps, check their, well, also their durability, but also how they handle in the air, their air correction, their tricks. And then we'll talk about the durability. Unless one breaks, then the durability point automatically goes to the other car. So each thing we're doing, we're rating at a scale 1 to 10. I think they have a little bit better traction, but even then, those cars aren't that good.
I do like the sound. It just sounds like it's got so much punch.
Well, that back end is slippery, that flat.
Nice correction, though.
Say bashes into this track really good. This track is better.
Well, that cleared that. This thing has not gone on 2 wheels this whole time. Whoop.
Yeah, that back turn is going to be slippery.
All right, that's not bad.
All right, let's get the Sledge out there.
Now, those tires, not a fan. Just slide too much. Really stable though.
have to move that ramp.
Yeah, we'll throw this thing right there. Got a lot of acceleration. Definitely sliding, but Alright, so we're gonna do 2 laps. We're gonna race pretty hard, but we're also gonna try not to spin out and try not to flip over because we want to see how they handle. 3, 2, 1, go. They both have so much acceleration. Oh my God. Yeah, I kind of bumped them off there. Man, they're both. They're in that jump. Oh, big hit. I'm gonna keep going. Oh. Nice correction. That looked cool.
Whenever we turn on the camera to do an actual race, I do a lot worse. But I think they both handle their jumps good. I think they're both a little slow in that corner, but for the most part, they did pretty good. We're gonna do a 1-lap race. Then after that, we're gonna get some air, some jumps.
3, 2, 1, go. What is this, a clash race?
Made that corner.
Yeah. All right, so I think as far as the handling goes and the speed, they are really close. Really close. I think the tires make a big difference too. I saw times where I think the Sledge accelerated better and handled the corner better, but then I saw times where the Kraton handled the corner better and it caught up quicker. It's really hard to judge this one. And they both had great air correction and they both hit these jumps perfect. They hit the doubles, they hit the tabletop here, and they both had a couple crashes, but this is a hard one. I'm gonna see what Will thinks because I'm trying to think how to rate this one.
All right, I see this as a 51-49 split. I think I'm going to give the edge to the Sledge because I think it lands better. I think it soaks up that impact. There was a few jumps on that second little hill right there where I hit a little bit and my car bounces up. I didn't see the Sledge bouncing up. Even on some of these jumps, the Kraton bounces a little bit, which rubs off a little speed. But overall, the speed and the handling is almost identical. I'll give the Sledge an 8 and I'll give the Kraton a 7.
I completely agree. I did notice that when I was landing, it does soak up the jumps. I don't have anything to do with how I have the shock set up, but it definitely soaks up the jumps where the Kraton's more violent. I mean, just like the acceleration, it's a violent on acceleration, it's violent jumping, it's made for bashing. And I really like the Kraton now that it's durable, but as far as the racing goes, yeah, I would have to say the Sledge edged it out. I'm gonna go the same thing. I'm gonna go with an 8 on the Sledge and a 7 on the Kraton. I think to get them a little bit better, maybe some better tires and some better suspension adjustments maybe would definitely help. Now, mind you, the Sledge has a Hobby Wing Max 8 and it has bashing 120C rating Gen 8 batteries, whereas the Kraton is running the stock suspension batteries with the stock ESC. So if you rate it that way, the Kraton did extremely well compared to the Sledge because the Sledge is definitely powered up right now. All right, next we're gonna be hitting this jump right here. It's a nice steep little incline. You can get a lot of air off of this jump and you can carry a lot of speed. What we're gonna do is see how the Kraton handles hitting this jump, see if it can complete its rotations, and just overall how it looks. Nice. Ooh, it was definitely winding up for that one. Oh. Wow.
All right, next we've got the Sledge.
Now remember, it's got the belted tires, so I'm not sure what to expect with rotations. That looked about the same amount of distance.
I do want to point out that you guys might not think the Sledge with belted tires is fair because obviously we won't have that rotation, but if you are buying a Sledge in 2025, you have to get belted tires on it. You don't have the option anymore.
Yeah, and doing stuff like this, you're not going to get the rotation, you're not going to get the performance. I would honestly switch back to the 8S. I think it's the 8S rated belted tires, but I'm not sure what they call the sledgehammers for the Sledge, but I would go with the non-belted. Nope, that was a hard hit. I chassis slapped right there. That was loud.
I think the Sledge just handles landing better.
Nope, can't do it with these tires. So now let's hit the ramp and then let's judge how they do with the jumping.
All right, so first we got the Sledge up for the ramp. We're gonna see if it can get the rotation. This is gonna be 3 times the air at least. Just enough for the backflip. I would say it handled that landing great. I don't know how it does that. I think it has to do with that plastic skid plate has on it. Oh, he doesn't have it. Never mind. Good Maverick. Ooh. It wasn't.
To the last second, turn the wheel a little bit. It seemed to help.
It wasn't perfect, but
Wasn't perfect. It wasn't straight. To get that perfect straight, the problem is it had too much air. It was accelerating pretty high, but I'd say one backflip is all it's going to do with these tires. Will's going to hit the ramp 3 times with the Kraton and see what it can do. You know what? You were about to miss that ramp. You corrected it and still did a backflip. And the double. All right, let's do one more. Ow! That was a hard lick. All right, as far as the Sledge goes, nothing bent. The batteries didn't move. I did put a piece of foam in there. None of the axles are bent. None of the arms are bent. None of the cups, none of the dog bones came out. Last time they've been kind of coming out a little bit, and I've had to squeeze them back in. But it looks like, no, they all stayed in this time just fine. Nothing's cracked. I did chassis slap quite a bit. I hit that dirt hill hard, that first jump, and everything looks good. This is why I like the Sledge, and it was one of my favorite cars until the X-Max, because this thing, I can do anything with it, and it doesn't seem to break. And when it does break, it's just out of nowhere. I'll break 3 pieces on the front arm. This one survived just fine. The only thing I would change on this right now are these. I do not like belted tires. I had no rotation on it. I hit so hard on one jump, I cracked the wheel. You can see it right there. The wheel's cracked. So if I had to rate the bashing on a durability stance, I would definitely give it a 10. I would give it a 10 because of past breakages on this truck have been great. Hasn't been a whole lot of breakages, and when they do break, like I said, it breaks a lot. But when it handles great, there was that one time where it almost went a year without breaking. So this thing is definitely durable, but it's kind of hard to give it a 10 when it can't back up too well on certain jumps. It's got a lot of height. So yeah, durability, I give it a 10. Now, as far as bashing and performance, if I'm rating it with the belted tires, I'm gonna give it like an 8. I'm gonna give it I can't give it anything higher than an 8 because there's some times where I could not correct it. Now, if I had non-belted tires on this, I'll probably go closer to a 10. This thing's got so much correction. It's really smooth, it's really fast, it soaks up the landing, and it hits that ramp hard. So I would give it a 10. But because of the tires and what it did today, I can't give it more than an 8.
All right, so I took, 2 bad crashes today. Nothing's broken on it. These toe links held up really good. I'm really hoping these are what fixes that toe link problem. I already did have a pre-bent axle right here, so it didn't bend anymore, I don't think. Nothing else can be broken. Chassis, I think chassis is still perfectly straight through all these bashings. I don't think it's even bent a little bit. So it might be a little bit bent right here. I think that's it.
That's it? Yeah, that's kind of like where the Sledge bends. It's right below the motor. I bet you it's because of the weight.
Yeah, on this Kraton, these connectors are constantly coming loose.
Yeah, I think we're going to have to tape those permanently.
Yeah.
That way they don't keep doing that.
I do want to point out, this gear mesh has never failed to mess up. This has been perfect every single run. no matter what.
And that's what I like about ARRMA. Their motor mount system is actually really nice. It fits in, it's got a set screw right there, and it holds the mesh really tight. And it's one piece, so even if the chassis bends, you're not going to lose your mesh.
Durability, I mean, if it was off today, I'll give it a 10. Took bad crashes like ease, but altogether, I would probably give it a 7, because I haven't had to replace expensive parts. They've been little parts. Toe link ends, drive cups, and arms are all I've had to replace, but I've had to replace them often. So M2C drive cups held up perfect. What? Mid talk about it, I just realized that these bars are exposed. That gray cap on the end just popped right off.
And you know what? The only way to fix that is you got to unsolder these joints.
Yeah.
To put a new cap on it.
I work at a hobby store, I can do that for free. Alright, so durability altogether, I think I'll give it a 7. I don't think it breaks expensive parts, but until you get RPM, M2C, you're going to be breaking once every 2 bashes, but it's not too bad. Performance-wise, I think I have to give it a 10. For its weight and size and its rotation, I don't think there's a lot of cars that can match it. With Sledge, if you took off the belted tires, maybe could match it. Alright, I hate to say it, but I think we're ending on a tie. I think we both gave 1 point up to the Sledge on handling. Both gave 1 point up on the Kraton for bashing. So you guys let us know in the comments of what you think. We know you guys are really passionate about which side you take on this conversation. If you guys haven't heard already, we do have a Patreon. If you guys want to go in the link in the description and go support the channel, everything goes back into you guys in the future. And we do got some racing videos coming out soon. So if you guys like this video, make sure to like and subscribe. See you guys next video.